what we're going to see in this clip coming up here is the legislator is asking Mcfarlane, why would you not be in favor of a more representative board? Why would you possibly be opposed to having more people to represent the board? She's obviously interested in the fact that the transit board as it is now is Portland heavy, and Portland does get the huge allocation. There is no service shortage in Portland. Okay, there is no service shortage in Portland. You have how many buses and trains you have running through downtown? You have streetcars, you have buses, you have Maxes. All the service that TriMet has is going to Portland. That's what this legislature is addressing. That's what this bill is addressing. But Mcfarlane, as always, and he hasn't answered the question once. He's skirted this entire hearing. He has completely skirted the question. He's always, just like he's been doing for years, every problem, the same answer. It's the union. He doesn't answer the question. He refuses to answer the question. There is no good reason for him to not want a larger board other than it will erode his control. And we all know the board as it exists now is a puppet board. There is no board. It's Mcfarlane and his puppets. And he has no answer to the legislature's concern. There is no answer. He evades the question over and over and over.
I guess I have some concerns. I actually don't have a lot of heartburn with the bill, but I'm curious why TriMet would. I mean, you talked about we don't have money, so therefore we oppose the bill. That's kind of what I heard, and correct me if I'm wrong. So you don't want to see this expanded, but somebody, I don't know who the map fairy was, that brought me a very nice map of my house district with the map lines of how much TriMet service we get. But it's a little loop on one side and it's a little line on the other side, and we've put a lot of money into TriMet. So I'd like to re-articulate for me why you wouldn't want to see a board expanded and bring in more people into the board who are currently not being serviced very well by TriMet. And the other piece of this is that, you know, Wilsonville, Sandy, Malala, others have done a pretty good models of small transit, cross-suburban transit works really well in those communities, and TriMet is not getting that done in my district. So please re-articulate for me why this is a bad idea.
Representative Parrish, I appreciate the question very much. What I would come back and say is that this changing the appointment of the board doesn't create more revenue that allows us, or reduce costs by itself, that allows us to grow more service. That's where we all want to be, I suspect, amongst all of us, which is we'd like to see more service growth within the TriMet region. So this does nothing to address that fundamental imbalance between costs and revenues over time. Second, I would say that we are working hard to look for some different models of service delivery. One example is in the Tualatin area, where we are working with the Chamber of Commerce to create the Tualatin, to expand the service of the Tualatin shuttle. We've actually enlisted the help of the federal government with some additional funding to help provide that service that actually is critical to a number of employers. And I was there at a chamber meeting probably a couple weeks ago, where again was hearing from the employers in that area but how critical it is to get access to, particularly for lower or entry-level wage earners, into the employment market there. So we have a number of innovative models around the region, but we do have some real constraints now, and my point being that changing the appointment of the board doesn't address those overall constraints. You would see our board completely dedicated to the notion of bringing costs and revenues in a better alignment.
There are 7 people to testify. Please be quick.
I guess I'm going to circle back to the piece of why more isn't better, and that my big concern, besides not having very good transit, and why I would like to see more representation from my counties on there, is there's a lot of push around to the suburban communities that we're not doing enough for low-income housing. But the fact of it is that you can't do the low-income housing if the transportation doesn't support it. And so I think having more representation on that board does not solve your fiscal problems. I'd love to solve your fiscal problems, don't get me wrong, we've had that conversation. But the fact of it is that when I look at the makeup of the board, and it is very Portland heavy, that does not serve the needs of people in my community on both counties. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you very much.